Thank you for joining the podcast for Beyond the Banter. Before we get started, you need to know some important information. If you need support immediately, please reach out to one of the following organisations. Lifeline on 131114, Beyond Blue on 1300224636, or Men's Line Australia on 1300789978. If your life is in danger, please call 000 immediately.
Beyond the banter, beyond the banter, we'll find the answer.
Hi guys, Chris Ashford from Beyond the Banter. I hope all is well. I just wanted to do a quick video to link part 1 to part 2. We didn't want to rush this one, and we wanted to take our time with it because Plewusy's message is just, it's really important, and we didn't want to rush it. So I just want to do a quick recap. Obviously, in the third part 1, we talk about Plewusy's life growing up, what it was like at a young age to play a professional sport, all the way through to his challenges in life, becoming a dad, and the realisation that he needed some help with his mental health. So I just wanted to do a quick video just to link the two. I hope all is well. We absolutely love this podcast, and we look forward to producing some more in the future. Thanks guys, bye.
Probably one of the toughest things I've done.
So what made you go? What was the trigger that you went, you're right, I need to go, given that you were encouraged?
Waking up in the morning and you noticed that you'd been out driving all night, but you never remembered it.
Yep.
And that was like, it just happened once, and I was like, I know I've been out. This is too much. I've got family, so yeah. So when I knew I was prepared to take so much prescribed drugs with alcohol, that's maybe too much. I don't care. I don't care if it's maybe too much. I'll push it to the limit and see how I go. Yeah.
Well, it can be fatal as well, right? Like prescription drugs mixed with alcohol, it can be fatal as well.
And that's when I knew if I was pushing it to the limit all the time, and that's it was. But that one morning, I was when it was a moment where I says, right, I can't do this. I'm going to destroy. When you don't care about yourself, then you start thinking about others, and those thoughts were quite powerful. And I thought, right, I've been told to get help. I'm going to go try it. And you touched earlier, Chris, regarding where you go for the mental health help professionally, and there is a thing that I used called the Mood Cafe, and it's a website, and it's all different stuff. There's all different everything for men and women, and I've passed that on to quite a few people. There is the obvious stuff, the websites for the sort of bigger sort of social stuff called Mind and SAM, which is Scotland Against Mental Health. So there's loads more, but that one that I seeked help from, and the guy who I sat down with and spent my sort of hard-earned money, that people ask how much was it, and you tell them, to go, wow, so you had to spend a fair bit of money to go get professional help. I tried getting it free on the NHS. I was on the slippery slope waiting on that time, and I was like, no, I need to pay for this. So you could spend, I don't know how much dollars it is, but so you can spend £100 on a night out drinking, and it wasn't even that much for an hour with a, you know what I mean? And I spent 5 weeks with the guy. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wanted to ask a little bit. Well, I want to go back to that morning when you realised you needed help. But before we do that, I just want to ask you from I guess from a health point of view. Are there guidelines around, hey, if you aren't feeling right or you are having negative thoughts, is it advertised over there what you should do from a government or a health point of view? Over here, I'll give you an example. We have Medicare, which is our healthcare, and you can go and see a GP and have a chat, and you would go through a mental health assessment plan, and then from there they work out what the next steps are. And a part of that, last time I checked, it was like 10 free sessions you get with psychologists to help you with your mental health care. But as you just said, that those 10 free uh, meetings that you have could take 6 months to get
Yeah.
you there, whereas most people need them now,
Yeah.
not 6 months down the track. So I just wanted to check with you because I've always been interested to see how in different countries and international and all that sort of stuff, like here in the last 10 years specifically, it's gotten a lot better. It's nowhere near where it is, but it's gotten a lot better. One of our national helplines, which is Lifeline in Australia, they've just introduced a live chat where you can just go on their website now and you can just chat to them on the website like a little pop-up, and you're actually talking to someone directly one-on-one. And that's only happened in the last sort of 3 months. So there are big things that are happening. It's just, I just think that there's not enough out there at the moment. So I guess from your point of view, did you know that there is help out there? Did you know that you could go to a GP? Did you know that there is mental health care? Is there mental health care plans over there?
I literally don't know if there's mental health care plans. I know there's major issues like with the time scale thing, with seeking mental health help. You can get an appointment with a GP and almost immediately the same day, and you can go and discuss that with them.
Do you have to pay for that?
No, that's free.
No.
No, I'm talking. I'll be 11 years ago or something like that when I received my help, and when I went to the GP and discussed it, I was probably 2 months before I sat down with a woman, and she sent me to these places because she said that it was roughly about the same time as what you guys are talking, 6 months before you could actually receive proper professional help by a psychologist of some sort. But you can try these places, and there was a lot of them where they were all practically all free. So there is lots of free help out there in the UK. It's not something I've looked at lately to understand what's available. The difference between like a professional psychologist or just a sort of a place where you can go and discuss with people who are trained. You know what I mean? So it's not something that you know what? It's probably something I should maybe look into more.
Yeah, I mean, it's the point of my question, right? Is to find out if you guys are over there are aware of what's out there for you, right? And that's one of the reasons why I asked,
Yeah.
because, mate, even over here, I speak to people. We go on TikTok quite a fair bit. It's our biggest audience, TikTok, and so many people reach out to you, and even like Australians, I say if they message me and they say, hey, I'm not feeling well, blah blah, I'll say, hey, have you gone and spoke to a GP? Have you actually gone and spoke to someone? Have you spoken about a mental health? And they're like, oh, no, we didn't know we could do that. So, and that's it, right? So, which is readily available. But yeah, like it's good to ask that question because it's good to get understand the response so that if people listening might go out there that in your backyard over there
Yeah.
or wherever that they can look into it and find out what the resources are available. The morning that you realised you needed help, what happened? What made you go right? Today's the day.
Just the sobering fact that I could have ended not just my own life, but someone else's, and I wouldn't have even remembered it. And I feel very, very lucky that that never happened. So that was the sobering moment, and I knew that I needed to stop practically immediately. And I didn't find it a problem stopping any of my addictions at all. Just complete straight cold turkey. But the help thing was, I understood that the drink side of things was what would you call it? That I knew that was a major reason of trying to numb everything that I was doing and happening in my life. So, and I was actually going through my apprenticeship, earning not good money and stuff, and still trying to play hockey for some money as well. So it was hard. It was hard to stop in a way that the culture, what we talked about earlier, especially with the hockey guys.
Yeah.
But it was an easy decision to make. You know what I mean? I'm sort of contradicting myself. It was easy to stop what I was doing because I knew the severity of what could happen, which is a loss of not just the family, but if I was not to be there, then that's probably worse for my family than you know what I mean, than not getting help or you know what I mean.
It's a terrifying moment when you. I remember one time waking up in the morning and I better go get my car, so I organised a taxi, and the taxi pulls up at the front, bips his horn. I walk out the front and I'm like, "Why's my car there?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and to this day, I still don't know who drove it home. You know, and I'm hopeful that a friend has, and I've just never worked out who it was. But it's a terrifying moment when you have something like that.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It's happened to me. I did it, this is probably 20, 25, 20, what are we, 20, not even 20 years ago, but I remember I parked, I was going in the city, so I parked a little bit closer to the city, not all the way in. And I remember I was out all night and whatever, and came home in the morning and said, all right, I'm going to go get my car. So I got a taxi to go pick a bus to go pick my car up, and I got there and it wasn't there. And I'm like, holy shit, it's been stolen. Get back on the bus, about to go in home and call the police and report it. And I looked out on the street and I could see my car right down the end of the street, about 2 meters from the gutter. So I've parked it there and walked up, and I've gone down and had a look, and there's half-eaten kebab and a can of like Coke and whatever there. And I was like, holy shit, that can't happen again. That can't happen again. It never had until that stage. But you had a lot of pressure there as well, mate, because you had a couple of young kids there. You had to provide. You know, you had to be the person that they needed in their life.
Yeah.
Yes, and I know over here the apprenticeships is year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. I don't know if it's similar.
That's it.
Money's a bit tight in those first couple of years. So definitely understand all that pressure mounting up. One question I had for you though, and obviously I know a little bit more about you now, so I think I know the answer, but I'll ask you anyway. Were you drinking to get loose and just hang out and be one of the boys, or were you doing it to mask those thoughts that you were having? And obviously we've talked a little bit now, so I know a little bit more about you. But what was it that made you want to have that drink? I guess
It was literally to numb everything that was going on. It was it was 100% just to get rid of all the thoughts and feelings that you had, and the painkillers were a probably an even better way, because to do that at the time, because as we talked about, when you get drunk, you get blind drunk, and then you don't remember things. Whereas the painkiller thing it's a completely different thing. It numbs it, it gets rid of it, but you're aware of things round about you, kind of thing. So yeah, the two of them together was quite horrible, but that was all I done it for. I'm not a social drinker. I still enjoy a drink, and I'll go out to enjoy and have fun and be loose and have a good crack with my mates. And I'm quite what's the word? I'm quite happy that I understand where I am when I go have a drink. Sometimes I take it too far, and then I understand, but nothing nowhere like what back in sort of 10, 12 years ago. But yeah, I mean, I had talking about my help, professional help. He dug way back into my subconscious when I was young, the stuff that happened when my mum and dad separated and stuff, and just taught me about my subconscious things that have happened in my life. And I realised, I mean, all the trouble I used to get during school and stuff and all that kind of, I got done. I actually, talking about drink driving, I actually stole my mum's car when I was 16 and smashed it, and got caught by the police dogs. You know what I mean? I was 16 years old, and again, it was all fun when you were with your mates at that age, and it's crazy to think that the separation of your parents, etc., played a part in the reason you were drinking so young. Don't get me wrong, I was straight into an adult culture at 14. I was going to nightclubs. I was going into nightclubs at 14. Yeah. So it was all that stuff that you didn't care about what happened that night stemmed from your subconscious childhood, where you're like, you know what I mean, I've got a reason to be doing this, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite deep.
Yeah. Well, mate, I think you know, at 14 years old, playing professional sport against other grown men, that in itself is a big challenge, because at 14 years old, you would have seen things that you didn't even know existed, or you know, you wouldn't have understood anything at 14 years old, right? So I think that was a big part of it. Okay, so you got help, and you went through that process. What were the next steps for you? What was your next plans? What did you want to do? How are you going to balance, your life now that you've discovered that, hey, there is an issue here and I need to fix it?
I had to get my family back, and that was my number one priority. That was what I needed, and my to want to, like, literally keep living kind of thing, was the family. So I always had the kids were the kids, but the family side of things, and I was told or led to believe, or not believe, sort of taught by the psychologist that the family's never ever going to, they're always going to be there. So you don't just, I couldn't just take my family back for my own mental health. You need to want the family back and stay with it for the rest of your life, because your kids are going to get up and leave you, and you're going to be with your wife for the rest of your life, not just because, you know what I mean, not just to help you. That's, you know what I mean, parents that stay together for their kids, etc. That's not the smart thing to do. So that was my number one priority, for not just for my mental health, but I knew that that's where I belonged, and I needed to make amends for stuff. And it happened, and the stuff happened that their kids are all away as well. In fact, my 20-year-old daughter's she's in Australia right now. She's living just north of you, Topher. She's in the Sunshine Coast.
Give her a shout out, mate. Give her a shout
So
out.
Rihanna and our best friend Kennedy, they went over there 6 months ago, with a year's visa, and they're coming home. They're coming home in January. The flights are all booked and stuff. We thought they would do the full year, but things didn't map out how they expected, but she went over at like 19 years old, and just you know what I mean. But she's my wee princess. She's like, and then my two boys. My oldest one, he plays professional stroke semi-professional hockey down in England, and my middle guy, Xander, he looked after my dog last night, but he graduated. I never thought I'd have a kid that graduated for university in business marketing. So he's living with his girlfriend. So I'm like, me and the wife, we're loving life, and that's why I've opened up my shop. I thought I need to fill my time, kind of thing. So, but getting back to the help. It says you don't just get a family back together because it's going to help you. You get it because you want it. And it's been tough. It's been tough, but it's been rewarding as well. And I know that I done that for the right reasons. But yeah, so and I've all the sort of substance side of things. I've been through some serious, painful stuff with injuries and just minor accidents, and I'm paracetamols. You know what I mean? I'm just it's like I maybe need something stronger, but I'm like, no, I'll just ride this out. And it's not because I'm scared of taking painkillers. I just like, you know what, they've had their moment in my life. I'll go without them. You know what I mean? But,
So, mate, gloves off, right? So you've started your enterprise, and what's that done for you now? What does that mean to you? And I'm not a big fan of hockey. I'll admit it. But
yeah.
What does gloves off mean?
So the gloves off. I explained earlier regarding when you're fighting on the ice, you take your gloves off. It's a phrase renowned all over the world. If it's gloves off time, it's game on kind of thing. So when I wanted a connection with mental health, and I just married the two together, where you need to fight your demons. You need to win your battles. When I coached for many years, right up to Great Britain under 16 level, I was coaching kids up to about 4 years ago. I think I stopped. And what I would always say in a team sport, you separate your 5 guys on the ice at one time, and you've all got your small battles to win. And if you all win your battles, your chances are you're going to win your game. So my battles, I knew were mental, and I just married the two together. Where you need to a small battle mentally might be when you wake up in the morning and you don't want to go to your work. You know what I mean? It's such a easy thing to feel, and then it's just a small battle. You just got to win your small battles every day. Every day you have battles. So I got loads of different slogans. So gloves off, I was like, I just need people to enjoy it for what it is. If you're into ice hockey, choose your colours, you know what I mean? But like I said, if it runs a lot deeper. I've helped lots of people. Strangers have emailed me and just told me that, you know what I mean? And I'll never tell anybody anything I don't know anything about. But I've said before, I reiterated a lot of my professional help because it still helps me to the day. To this every day I think about, you know what I mean, those how to deal with thoughts. And my mates, the ex-Marines I was speaking to last night, they talked about their professional help, and he says you'll never ever be cured. You can stop drinking, you can do everything, but you'll never stop the thoughts from coming into your head. You just got to learn how to deal with them, and let they'll raise their head every day, and you just got to and it is easier if you're not taking any form of substances. It's way easier, way easier. But so gloves off was. I've mentioned I've opened up a shop, and it's an ice hockey shop, ice hockey equipment. But the clothing side's
Where's the shop? Where's the shop located?
It's located in Kirkcaldy, right across from the Fife Flyers Ice Arena, where they played in the Elite League. So that's where I played my junior hockey. And there used to be a shop there years and years and years ago, and I knew the owners, and it sort of went downhill, and that was about 10 years ago. It closed. So I've just thought, you know what, I'm going to make a go of it. I still keep my job, so I'm a busy man. But it's obviously it's good to be busy, as you guys know.
There's a paragraph here. There's a paragraph here that I'm just going to read out from your website, because this is what I saw when I first read it. I was like, wow. So it says gloves off is a phrase used throughout the world, and you're right, it is. It's used throughout the world in every aspect. When you say gloves are off, it means there's no rules. Let's go for it. You know, whether it's a physical or mental obstacle in your path that needs to overcome, it's gloves off time. Make a positive statement, chest out, shoulders back, and show others around you by wearing our merchandise that you may have been weak and needed help, but are a fighter. And when the time comes, you're not afraid to get the gloves off. Love it. Absolutely love it. So, I can't applaud you enough for that, and we'll definitely do what we can over here, and with the connection with Lorna as well. We'll definitely put that on our socials and see what sort of reaction we get there as well. Just when we're talking then, one of the things you sort of mentioned was that, someone said to you that you're never going to be cured. Yeah, you're right. You're never going to be cured. There's no magic wand, and that's what the doctor will tell you. If you're going to the doctor for the first time and you're experiencing your first bout of mental health illness, they'll tell you they haven't got a magic wand, that you've got to accept it. Like, as soon as you accept it and work out how to manage it, you'll overcome it. What you need to do is just make changes and manage it throughout your life. So yeah, spot on, 100%. It's never going to go away. But there are tools and measures that you can take to try and help you and alleviate that. And in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, it is either drugs or alcohol that one of the contributing factors. But in saying that, one of the reasons I sort of stopped drinking was because they said it was a contributing factor. So I stopped drinking, as I said, about 6 years ago, and I never had any real issues with anxiety or depression until probably middle of last year. Me again. I hadn't touched a drink, so I was like, well, I've given up this because, but it's about accepting that it's never going to go away, and I'm at peace with that now, and I know that it's never going to go away. So it's a big statement that your mate said, but it's so true, and no one's saying that, hey, go and get some psychological help, that you're going to be okay. It's just helping you manage. So I'm totally blown away. I did notice on your websites that you do have your ups and down days still. Is that still the case with yourself?
Yeah, 100%. Nowhere near as bad or as frequent. Nowhere near, but yeah, it's just it's good to be secure in my life, and I'm making decisions and opening up another part of my business, kind of thing. But just even just work in general. Sometimes you need to deal with stuff, and you really can't be bothered. And it's if I was to put something aside instead of dealing with it, you're immediately walking away for just a small issue, or even just a work issue. I'll do that tomorrow. Then you're straight away into just a sort of part of your brain that I'm going to have to deal with that at another time, and then something else might happen during that space that you think you're giving yourself, and then you're fighting against it. So yeah, my daily stuff takes me to where I try and get things done. I'll do them when they show their face. I'll do them, and I'll deal with them, and I'll not build things up, and that goes for emotionally as well. Anything I feel, I try and understand, and I'll understand why it's reared its head. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's after a night out, and you get up in the morning and you're like, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have said that, and it's like, right, well, okay, it's happened, deal with it. Speak to someone. It's not happened in a long time, but just I'll deal with them there and then, and not just hope that they go away.
No, I fully agree. All right, well, we've just gone nearly an hour, so and we're just chatting. I feel like there's so much more, so I think we'll maybe touch base with you in your new year to get you back on for another episode because I feel like there's a lot more that we can talk to you about. And mate, it's been an hour, and it doesn't feel like it's been an hour. But before we go, there's a couple of things. Do you want to give a shout out to the legend Lorna because she's the one that's teed this up, and mate, she speaks very highly of you.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to tell the story about Lorna, please feel
So
free.
Lorna's, you poor guys probably know, but Lorna's brother played ice hockey. Titch, he was a good friend of mine and my brother. He's a really good friend of my brother's. And Lorna's just Titch's little sister. Go way back. I mean, she's maybe told you Titch has got his own. He's got his own problems and stuff, mental health, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying, but she's such a she wants to do well for others, and like myself,
Yep.
when you do well for others, like what you guys are doing, it helps you as well. And I would imagine Lorna doing what she's doing with you guys is a big thing for her to be able to help others, and that's who Lorna is. She's when she told me about you guys, I was like, and I never even knew. I never knew Lorna done that side because we had a mutual friend. She probably told you that he'd passed away, and I looked after. I wouldn't say I looked after my friend Gary, but he was just too far down our line that he couldn't come back from with alcohol, and that was quite a tough. That was a tough time, but no, Lorna, we talked a lot, and she could only do so much, and she kind of felt bad that she was on the other side of the world. But that's when you got to look after yourself and realise that you're there for her. She's over there doing what she's doing, fighting her own fight, winning her own battles. It's Lorna's. When she told me about you guys, I'm like, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. But yeah, she's from good stock. She's from good stock. Her mum and dad are good people, and they're over there just now, I believe. Yeah, so
Yeah, they're here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures online
Yeah.
now. So
it's good.
no, she is, and she's really helped me. And Topher's only really 5-10 minutes away from Lorna.
Yeah.
So she's just blown us away by the way she's taken this on. We did something a couple of months ago, and she just grabbed the bull by the horns and ran with it and opened up a house and let us all stay there and all that sort of stuff. She's a really good girl. So, but mate, as I said, I reckon we've got another conversation with you later on next year. We'll definitely do that. We're going to sort of take a break and kick off around about March 1, but we will do some recordings before then, and hopefully maybe we can get you out of here over these shores. Have you been to Australia before?
I've not. No, I've not. I would love to. I would definitely love to. We talked about it with my daughter going over, and I mean, at her age, we're like, you know what? Just if you want to live, stay. You know what I mean? Just be your own person. She's missing home, which is understandable. So, but she said she was going to go back. So whether it be next year, the year after, or 5 years time, but we'll definitely make a point. My friend's over from Perth right now. He's from Edinburgh, hockey player, and I had to go away. Like I said, with my work's dinner, and I left my wife in the shop. And he's over from Perth, Australia, and he come into the shop, and I wasn't even there. I was like, oh no. We played ice hockey together in Edinburgh, and so he said he'll try and get back over to the shop before he flies home. But yeah, I'll do it. My brother-in-law lives in Auckland, New Zealand, so we're trying to get my daughter to fly for Brisbane to New Zealand. But yeah, it's all on the cards, but not for a wee while yet. And I'll be sure to hit you guys up.
Love to catch up.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. No, that sounds good. And look, I guess Topher, is there anything you want to add? I mean, I was going to throw to Plewesy to finish up, but anything you want to add? I mean, from my point of view, it's been a great conversation, and I'm glad we can reach the four corners of the globe. And this is just a start for us. And I've taken a lot out of this. As I said, it's gone a minute and 5 minutes. It doesn't feel like that. So I'll throw over to you, and then Plewesy, I'll throw over to you to sort of wind up.
Mate, I just think the story's just really close to what we're trying to pitch, right? We need to fight our battles. We need to connect with our mates. You mentioned talking to mates. Everyone's got their own challenges, and the stigma is still there, whether we like it or not, that blokes don't talk to blokes, and we need to break that down. We need to open up to each other and be prepared for those hard conversations occasionally, and be there as a shoulder. So it's been really great to listen to your story tonight and hear it pretty raw in parts of it. And certainly anyone listening, make sure you get onto glovesoff.co.uk and support. Buy some stuff. He ships to Australia, so ship it off. Might have to add a little extra for postage, but we'll get it.
In the NRL colours, I could have done in the NRL colours if you want. I was actually going to ask you. So, there's, just before we wind up, Tophy, you said before that you're not really into ice hockey. Ice hockey is like AFL, right? You have to be in the arena. It's 10 times better being there in person. And Plewesy, you understand this. I went to America in 2004, went to Madison Square Garden, watched an ice hockey match. It was Rangers versus Tampa Bay. It remained goalless all the way through the game. Not one goal scored. I think, does it go to 3 overtimes, or is it 2 extra time?
It was,
and they scored.
aye.
Yeah, they scored with like 10 seconds to go in the last part they were playing. So I only got to see one goal over there. I remember it, but I loved it. And being in the arena is very different to watching it on TV. That's for sure. But I was going to say to you, okay, so us two here. So what team should we be going for? What's the colours we should be representing?
Well, I mean, it'd be stupid if you never went for green and gold, would it not?
Is there a green and gold ice hockey team?
My friend, I've got other friends in Sydney, and he coaches his the kids over there, and his son is over here playing for one season, and they've said that he only gets 1 hour ice time to train over there, but over in Scotland you get 4 hours a week. So he's sent his son over here to train and get 4 times the ice. But he's bought lots of clothes from me. And his mum and dad take them over when they go visit and stuff, but it's all green and gold. It's all green and gold. So that's the go-to colour for you guys. But I appreciate the plug.
All right, mate.
I appreciate the plug.
Yeah, no problem, mate. I'll give you final comments, mate. I'll throw over to you. If there's anything you want to tell to the wider audience, people in your own backyard, any words of advice that you could possibly give, I'll throw it over to you, and then we'll close it up.
Well, firstly, guys, it was great meeting you. Love what you are doing. Love your own stories, etc. I think it's really important for everyone who's listening that when you do go ask for help, whether it be a friend or whether it be a GP or some form of professional help, it's probably going to be the best thing you'll ever do. And if one person that's listening does it and stops them from having some seriously bad thoughts, then the job's done. You know what I mean? And if you raise the bar a bit and try and help one person a day, you know what I mean? You're what you do in your spare time, podcasts or printing t-shirts, etc. If it helps someone, then it's only a good thing. The Mood Cafe is where I received my professional help over here in the UK, but probably the biggest movement happening at the moment is andysmanclub.co.uk, where people physically go into certain places and introduce themselves, etc., and just discuss their problems and stuff like that with other people with the same in the same area, in the same sort of circumstances, or people go there to help out. I know guys that are involved in it, and I know guys that attend it as well. It's a massive following, and it's such an amazing thing that's happening over here, and they're expanding every day and every week. So yeah, andysmanclub.co.uk.
It's give it a look, give it a follow. It's very, very inspirational.
To wrap up on a positive note regarding people listening, is that you're every single person is struggling. Very, very few. If you've got money, you've got money problems. They bring you different problems. They bring you, you know what I mean? There's no, you could have zero and be happy. You could be out of a job, still be happy. You know what I mean? Everyone has problems and issues, and you just have to, you have to address them, and feel strong about going and getting help. You know what I mean? Really feel like, you know what, I'm doing something that's going to take some strength here. And if you've not got the strength, reach out privately to someone or anonymously to a website, etc. It's a must. It is a must. Yeah, you guys keep doing what you are doing. Absolutely. I've watched a couple of things, seen you guys going on the pier and stuff. Just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully I'll catch up with you guys again. I'll hold you to that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, for sure. We will for sure. We've really enjoyed it. We didn't need an interpreter. We understood you crystal clear, so that was a plus. Look, from our side as well, the more people talking about mental health, the better. There's no competitive landscape or anything like that where we're going up against people in the same sort of field. If everyone's talking about it, then we're all winning.
Mhm.
So I just want to say thank you again. 10 o'clock Sunday morning there, 9 o'clock here. I will tell you that was 40 degrees here today, so I don't know what it's like currently there, but we're going through a bit of a heat wave here at the moment, so it is quite warm over here. But look, mate, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and we look forward to chatting to you in the new year in a future episode.
Brilliant, guys. Look after yourselves.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank
Take
you,
care. Bye.
Thank you for joining the podcast for Beyond the Banter. Before we get started, you need to know some important information. If you need support immediately, please reach out to one of the following organisations. Lifeline on 131114, Beyond Blue on 1300224636, or Men's Line Australia on 1300789978. If your life is in danger, please call 000 immediately.